Hey guys, welcome to my first monthly reset video. I want to show you guys a little bit more of how I implement the things that I talk about in my videos, how I structure my days, my weeks, my months, my years to accomplish my goals and to incorporate structure and beauty and romance into my day-to-day life. In this video, I will be discussing my July goals, how much I spent last month, then we'll be going into my August goals. I'll be showing you guys how exactly I plan to achieve those, my strategy for doing that, my August finances, and then I'll be showing you my monthly favorites at the end. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. My philosophy around achieving goals comes from a lot of the personal development books I've read. Most of them say in order to achieve a big goal, you break it down into little tiny bite-sized pieces, sometimes so small that it doesn't really seem like you're moving anywhere. But that's the beauty of the compound effect. 1% better every day gets you on the slight edge up. So July was the first month of me fully being without a 9-to-5 job. I quit my 9-to-5 job in June, so I kind of took it easy. I had goals, but I didn't have a very rigid system in how I went about achieving them. So I'll show you what those goals were. This month, I wanted to create a foundation for the rest of my days to come. So I woke up before 7 a.m. every single day. I did my morning routine every day, which I have a video talking about exactly what my morning routine is. I'll tag it. I ate an 80-20 diet, so 80% healthy, 20% not so healthy. I sent out 250 brand emails to get UGC clients. No one replied positively, so that's gonna be my goal for August as well. I read 10 pages a day of my book. I wanted to spend 1 hour every day dedicated to a new skill, but I actually did not do this. I would say I did it around 20% of the time, so I'm gonna consider that something that I did not do. That was a goal. And lastly, I wanted to be better at processing and communicating my emotions. I actually feel like I did do this very well this month. Revi can be my judge of that because he's the one who deals with my emotions the most. Like I said, I plan on having more structure in August, so I'm gonna show you guys a dashboard that I've used to outline my August goals and exactly how I plan to achieve them. All right, so as you can see, I used the 12-week strategy to goal plan. I just started implementing this in August, which is why August has more structure. So we're not gonna talk about all this right now. Let me know if you want me to do a video on this whole entire dashboard because it is pretty cool, I might do it anyways. But as you can see, I have priority 1, priority 2, and priority 3. So these are 12-week goals. And I have monthly goals. So my monthly goals are month 1, my daily tracker is to make 5 TikToks a day, send 10 UGC proposals a day, film 1 YouTube video every 3 days, and spend 1 hour on Duolingo to achieve these goals in the next 12 weeks. So that would be by the end of November. So in order to make $10,000 a month, be posting 2 times a week on YouTube, and to be conversational in Spanish, I need to be doing these things every single day, ideally for the next 12 weeks. So I break it all down. So this is the big goal. I break it down into 12-week goals. I break it down into my strategies. I break it down into daily tasks. And then I break it down bi-weekly. So week 1, I have yet to fill all of the rest of this out. I need to do that. But week 1, I have to film 30 TikTok videos, so 4 a day. Find best platform for my Quietly Becoming course, because right now I'm doing one-on-one calls and I want to incorporate more of a course structure so that people can do it without having to do one-on-one calls if that's what they wish. And then to create the course structure. Right now I plan on basing it off of what my Quietly Becoming clients most often talk about, which is mostly creating routine, living a life that they really enjoy waking up to, and finding balance and harmony within their lives. Priority 2 is to be posting 2 times a week on YouTube. So for week 1, I need to plan 10 videos. I need to shoot BTS content so that my videos are a little bit more intriguing to watch and more aesthetically pleasing. And I need to shoot 2 videos. So this is 1 video, and then the next video I actually shot yesterday, but I'm gonna have to reshoot it because the background noise was too loud. And priority 3 is to spend 45 minutes on Duolingo in order to be conversational in Spanish. And you can see in week 2, I already wrote down what I needed to do. So that is the breakdown of my August goals. You can see how I break it down into a big goal, into a more little goal, more little goals, more little goals, more little goals. So I know the exact steps I need to take in order to make my dreams happen. All right, so now let's get into my spending for July and how I plan on budgeting for August. I have been super conscious to rein in my spending the past few months. I've been doing this by practicing more impulse control when I see Instagram and Pinterest ads, because that's mostly where my impulse spending comes from. I've been doing this by getting more in touch with the things that I already own and by making a things I want to buy list. The things I want to buy list helps me identify the fact that I do want to buy this thing, so I'm not pretending like it's not something that I want to buy, but it's putting it off for later. So every now and then I'll refer back to the things I want to buy list whenever I'm feeling particularly like I want to spend money. So it lets me see exactly what I have been wanting to buy. And sometimes there's things on there that I actually don't really want anymore, which means that would have been something that I would have bought and probably wouldn't have ended up using. So that would have been a waste of money. But there's some other things like a new pair of sheets or a new tea kettle or new water tumblers, like the really thick glass ones. I really like those on there that I have been wanting to buy still, but I'm still putting it off until it fits more and is more in line with my budget and is actually a need rather than a frivolous want. All right, so let's get into my expenses and how much I spent in each category in July. As you can see, this is my dashboard that I use to track all of my expenses. So every 3 to 4 days, I go in here and I track exactly how much that I've spent. My income, so you can see, like this was UGC content that I did for a brand, and then I will show you guys my monthly dashboard. So this tracks how much I've spent in each category. All right, so if you see here, my rent is around $1,400 a month. I spent $54 on electricity. My Wi-Fi, it must not been pulled out yet by the time I did this, but I usually spend around $88 on my Wi-Fi bill. And then decorating, which is like anything like rugs or picture frames, a new soap dispenser, etc., I spent around $12. Spending, so this is wants and definitely not needs. I spent $180 on clothes, $113 on beauty products, so that is anything from skincare to nail polish, things like that. Eating out, $122. Miscellaneous spending, so this is one area that I want to be better at tailoring. A lot of the miscellaneous spending is when I go to Walgreens and get random things like nail polish remover, a bag of chips, toilet paper, things like that, which I actually feel like can be better categorized as groceries. So I'm gonna be doing that from now on. Entertainment was $22. So entertainment, I consider if Revy and I go to the movies, if we buy a movie at home, how much we're spending on being entertained. Groceries, $324. I'm working on this. This month I spent, I think, $60 on HelloFresh. And then I also bought groceries outside of that because I didn't end up making the meals. So that's why that bill is so high. So Uber is $114. This was on personal Ubers that I took. And then if we go down here, these are my subscriptions. If we go down here, you'll see business expenses. So this is $280 additional in Ubers that I took for modeling jobs or to meet with Quietly Becoming clients, things like that. Eating out lunches, that is when I meet with my clients in person or I have lunch with my agents, things like that. And then software is my subscriptions like Epidemic Sound, Pixels, which is what I use for BTS videos as of right now. And then I spent $30 on ads to promote Quietly Becoming. I'm working on vamping that, but I'm trying to do more organic outreach first. And that covers my expenses for July. And then I'll talk to you guys about how I plan for August expenses. So I do not subscribe to a strict budget. I've tried allocating a certain amount of money each month to a certain category. For example, $200 on groceries, $150 for clothes. That's how much I have to spend for that month. I always rebel against it. It never works for me. Instead, what I've found works for me is I know exactly how much my fixed expenses are. So my rent, my groceries, transportation, which I don't have a car, so that is a fixed expense for me. My gym membership is currently a fixed expense for me, and things like my phone plan, Apple Care, things like that. All of that totals up to be around $2,500 a month. That's the minimum I'm gonna spend each month. If I make more than that, which I'm likely to, that goes towards investments, personal spending. And as of right now, the debt that I've accrued, I didn't have any income from July. So I did accrue a bit of debt. It's not a lot, but it's more than I've ever had before. I've never had debt before, so it's a bit scary for me. So that's my number one priority right now, is to pay that off. All that to say, I don't have a very strict August budget, but that's kind of a recap of how I track my finances. Okay, all of the structure stuff is out of the way. Let's get into my monthly favorites. So my favorite purchases from July are the Austin Press Farmer's Garden candle. This is the cleanest, most simple scent I've ever smelled. It smells so homey and clean and fresh. It just makes your home smell so fresh. That's the best adjective. Austin Press is completely organic candles. She's based out of Sacramento, maybe? Her store is super cute. I love her candles. The best smelling candles I have ever smelled in my entire life. So the Farmer's Garden one is my favorite. The next purchase actually isn't a purchase, it's a product that I got from working with the brand. It's the Nori Press, which is a hair straightener looking iron and steamer. Unfortunately, when we were in Greece, I short-circuited it by plugging it into the adapter, and it just couldn't handle the voltage and it broke. But they are sending me a new one, and it's the best iron I've ever used. It's so perfect for traveling. I wish that we had it here in Colombia, because whenever we pack, our clothes always come out wrinkly. Having that with us helps us to steam our clothes, and it's super portable, so it just fits right into our suitcase. And the last purchase is kind of funny. It's actually a deodorant, the Salt & Stone Lavender, and then also the Vetiver, I think it's Vetiver and Sage deodorant. The lavender one is a bit powdery, so that is my daily one, but when I go to modeling jobs where I'm changing clothes a lot and don't want to get deodorant stains, I use the Vetiver and Sage one. That one smells like Santal 33 from Le Labo. It smells, both of them smell so good, and they're the only organic, all-natural deodorant that I've found that lasts all day and works super well. So the favorite books that I've read this month are The Vigorous Mind, that is a personal development book, and then the other two are fiction. It was A Room with a View. It was written in the early 1900s, maybe like 1908 or something like that, but it's a book that I've had in my library for years that I finally got around to reading, and I'm so glad I did because the story is super good. And the second one is actually a reread. It is Crazy Rich Asians. I love those stories, and the movie is also spectacular. They did such a good job remaking the book into a movie. So those are my favorite books from July. My favorite podcasts. I'm not a huge podcast listener. If I find a podcast that I like, it's because to me, it's super good. So my favorite two from this month are The Mindset Mentor by Rob Dial. I like his podcast because they're super precise and to the point. There's not a lot of chit-chatting. I listen to them while I'm on the stair climber. The podcasts are about 20 minutes long. I really like his podcast because he talks about personal development, but everything that he's saying, he backs up by science, which I personally really like when people do the research on the things that they are talking about. And the other podcast that I like is called The Rendezvous Pod with Alex Duran and Tim Curtet. This is a French podcast. They talk all things French culture, French language, French dating, all the fun French things. I have always been infatuated with France. It's probably why I moved there right out of high school. And this is a really good podcast. Again, they don't do a lot of chit-chatting. They get right to the point. So I highly recommend this podcast as well. And then I'm also going to talk about two interests that I've been more involved in July. The two are minimalism and using more high quality items. So they kind of go hand in hand. I used to subscribe to minimalism pretty seriously. When I moved to Miami, I started buying more and accumulating more, and I realized that it's made me less in touch with the things that I already own, which makes me prone to impulse buying. So I'm incorporating more minimalism into my life and not buying things that only bring me happiness or like spark that joy like Marie Kondo talks about, but also elevate my life. So for example, this is a weird example, but let's say there was a really good smelling deodorant, but it was more of a toxic deodorant. It brought joy to my life, but I knew it wasn't gonna elevate my life, versus finding the Salt & Stone deodorant that smells so good and is organic and natural. So that sparks joy and elevates my life. And then using more high quality items, I have always enjoyed incorporating more natural materials in my life, wearing organic materials for clothing, using high quality products in the kitchen, in the bathroom, in the living room. So those are two things that I've started incorporating more into my life in July. And that wraps up the August reset. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're watching to the end, please be sure to like this video and subscribe for more videos like this. I really, really appreciate you guys, and I hope you have the most beautiful day. Bye.